it's Rachel. Welcome back to Smile English Stories, where you can listen to English in lots of different contexts. But you need to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to get a notification from YouTube. Look at that. It's wibbly, wobbly jelly. It looks just like a jellyfish. In England, a lot of people love jelly. I have a secret. Shh. I am from England and I have never ever made jelly.
Really?
Yes, really. So today I want to experiment. I want to play. I want to try and make jelly with some fresh blackberries, from my garden. Come back. If I speak too slowly or too quickly, you can change the speed in YouTube. So, how old is jelly? When I was a child, when I was a kid in England, I remember we had jelly at birthday parties. I remember the colourful dishes with lots of different colours of jelly in them. They were really pretty. My sister says that people still have jelly at parties in England. And not only in England. In 1751, an English lady called Hannah Glass wrote a cookery book, a recipe book called The Art of Cookery. And her recipe book sold a lot of copies all over the English-speaking world, to Australia, to New Zealand, to America, to Canada. And in the recipe book, there was a recipe for jelly. And people made lovely creations with jelly. They used lots of different shapes of molds. Even very famous people in America had copies of the cookery book, like George Washington, the first American president, who you can see on the $1 note or the $1 bill in America. Or Thomas Jefferson, another American president who you see on the $2 bill or the $2 note. And Benjamin Franklin. He was one of the fathers, one of the founders of the United States of America. And you can see him on the $100 note, the $100 bill.
Jelly on a plate, jelly on a plate. Wibble wobble, jelly on a plate.
So I asked my sister's husband, my brother-in-law. I asked him, so how do you make jelly in England? And he said,
in England we make jelly with cubes. This is an orange jelly. You'll put the cubes into a bowl and add hot water. Pour the boiling water into the jug, add to the cubes and stir until dissolved. Once the cubes have dissolved in the hot water, you add cold water and mix. You have the option of adding fruit to the mix at this stage. Here we can see the completed jelly. Wibble wobble.
But then my brother-in-law said, "You know, we don't always make jelly. We often buy it ready-made in a tub or in a pot." So I looked on my computer and I saw that today, if you go to England, you will see, or if you have been to England, you might have seen jelly cubes with or without sugar, and lots of different flavours. You can get strawberry and raspberry, blackcurrant, orange, black cherry, lime, lemon and pineapple. And that's not all. You can also buy jelly in little pots, in tubs, plastic pots, with or without sugar. And you can buy jelly in pots with fruit in. You can even buy glitter jelly. Imagine eating glitter. I wouldn't, would you? And if you go to Australia, you will probably see aeroplane jelly. And if you go to America, you might see Jello. I live in France, and in France we don't have jelly cubes. So what is jelly exactly? Let's see. The phone says that jelly is very simple. It's just a mixture of fruit juice and sugar and gelatin. If you don't want to use gelatin because it comes from animals, you could use agar. Agar is seaweed. It's a plant that comes from the sea. And agar is red seaweed. So how do I make jelly? Well, if I look on my phone for a jelly recipe, I find jam. Jam like you would put on scones. Because jelly in America is jam in England. And English jelly is gelatin dessert in America. So let's look for English jelly. On my phone, I have seen a recipe for blackberry jelly. Fresh blackberries. I have fresh blackberries in my garden and I need 500 grams. So I need to go and pick some more blackberries. My husband always says to pick blackberries at the top and not at the bottom because foxes might have weed on the blackberries. So let's go. We need 500 milliliters of water, 500 grams of blackberries, you can use frozen or fresh blackberries. We need 4 leaves of gelatine and 150 grams of caster sugar. Caster sugar is very fine sugar. So first we need to put the blackberries and the water and the sugar in a pan and heat them till the sugar is dissolved. Don't forget to stir the mixture together. When the liquid is simmering, when you can see little bubbles, you leave the liquid to simmer for 3 to 4 minutes. You leave the liquid to simmer until all the juice has come out of the fruit. So now we need to sieve the mixture to separate the blackberries from the juice. Okay, so next we need to prepare the gelatine. We need to put them in cold water for about 10 minutes. So we need to soak the gelatine. So lastly, we need to drain the water from the gelatine and mix the gelatine in the fruit mixture. So I am going to sieve leave the water to come off the gelatine for a few seconds. Now I can put the gelatine in the liquid, which is hot but not boiling, not bubbling. And I need to stir it till all the gelatine is dissolved in the liquid. The recipe says for adult jelly you can add a little alcohol. So I am going to add 4 tablespoons of crème de cassis. Okay, so now we are ready to put the jelly mixture in a mold. Now there's lots of possibilities and I want to experiment. So I am going to put some jelly with some fresh blackberries in a glass. I am going to put some jelly in a little mold, and I am going to try some different silicone molds. So let's see what happens. I have put all the jelly in different molds, but I could have put the jelly in a glass bowl like my brother-in-law. So now we need to let the jelly go cold, either in the fridge or you can cool jelly in the freezer. It's perhaps easier to demold, to take the jelly out of the molds. So I am going to put some in the fridge for about 4 hours, or perhaps overnight, and perhaps the little ones in the freezer.
Wibble wobble, jelly on a plate.
So what can I do with my jelly? Well, I can just eat the jelly with the fruit. Let's try. Not bad. Or we can demold a little jelly in warm water, just for a few seconds. Melt the outside of the jelly. Here we go. Yeah! I think I melted it a little too long. Never mind. Or perhaps we should have used 5 leaves of gelatine. In England, we would eat the jelly with custard, so I need to show you how to make custard, English custard, or ice cream. Or we would put the jelly in trifle, and I will show you how to make trifle because it's my dad's favourite dessert. But I am thinking we do other things with gelatine. I remember sweets in England. I remember eating jelly babies. They were really soft to eat. And then there were fruit pastels. They were a little more chewy. And then there were jelly tots. They were tiny little jelly sweets. And in America, they have jelly beans. Do you know the Beatles? In 1963, in the middle of Beatlemania, when the Beatles arrived at JFK Airport, that's in New York, the Beatle fans threw jelly beans at George Harrison because his favourite sweets in England were jelly babies. When I went to Liverpool about 2 or 3 years ago with some friends, we saw a mosaic of the Beatles, but not made of ceramics, made of more than 15,000 jelly beans. When my daughter was little, we loved making sandcastles on the beach. So today I want to play, I want to make a jelly castle. But because the weather is hot, it's probably better to use the frozen jelly. So first I need to demold it. Yay!
Looks like Mandy having a poo.
And now I can make my tower. A jelly tower. Yesterday, I decided I could do better. I decided I wanted to build a bigger jelly castle. So because my jelly was a little soft, a little liquid, I took all the little jellies out of the molds and put them in the freezer in a bag. So now I can try and build a bigger jelly tower. So I am going to put the mini jellies in a dish. Oh, one is stuck. Come out. And here we go. I can build a tower. Just like when I was a little girl. 5 at the bottom. 3 on the next layer. Perhaps another big one. How many little jellies do you think I can put on the castle? How many before it falls down? 3. I think 5. 5. It's wobbling. I think it's going to fall with 6. 6. No, it's not possible. Yeah! 6. 7. And maybe this way round. 7. All the jellies? No. 8. No, it's going. It's going. 8. 8 little jellies. One more. Right, it's getting complicated. 9. Oh no, it's going to fall. No, no, it's not possible. No. No, it's going to fall. Oh, 8 jellies. So now I have finished being silly. I am just going to enjoy my jelly and fruit. Let me know in the comments if you make some jelly. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up and share the video with a friend. I think I need to take a little break over the summer because my husband is on holiday and I think we need to spend more time together as a family. And I need to prepare more videos for you. So have a great summer and I'll see you really soon. Bye for now.